Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering The Bachelor, Season 26, Episode 1. Chris, we're back again, despite our protests. And I actually, you know what? Letting you peek at my cards a bit. This first episode wasn't that bad, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm going to actually agree. You know I like shitting on this franchise, Dave, and I've got a bit to say. But yeah, I was pretty impressed. And I don't know what it is, whether because the girls bring the drama better than the guys. And that's not a men v women thing. I just think the girls are a lot more honest. You know what I mean? Like, you could see that from the get-go. The guys, obviously, we've just gone through this on Michelle's season. They're just fake as fuck, Dave. And I'm not saying some of the girls aren't, and we'll probably attest to that as we go through it. But it just felt like when they were having a go at each other, it felt real. It wasn't this, I want them to be happy bollocks that we hear. It was genuine, like, fuck that. I want to win the show. So I was the same as you. I was in from the minute it started, to be fair.
So I've got a slightly different theory. I think the girls are equally as fake as the guys on The Bachelorette, to be honest. But there's something different about how this show is put together. The girls definitely bring the better drama, the more of the game playing and what have you. But remember on the After the Rose for Michelle's season, we were saying that it seemed a bit off. They're like just literally brutally ripping into Clayton. Like they're sticking up these tweets about him, which are just horrible. They're not amusing horrible. They're just horrible. And he's just sat there like a lemon. And all he can do is kind of giggle a bit at them and try and brush it off, even though it's probably quite hurtful. Chris, they are setting this guy up as a figure of ridicule, I think. I think they're leaning into the ridiculousness of it. I don't know if, you know, there's lots of things that were fake about this, like, but literally every scene I'm like, well, that's fake. That's fake. You know, Clayton's like, oh, my mum's got no idea that I'm coming. Oh, right. Is that why she's got all the full makeup on and everything? And her dad's in the background filming on his camera. It's like, yeah, right, Pinocchio. So, and then things that happen in the episode as well. They are not giving this guy a favourable edit. They're just putting him up there like he's this fucking love-drunk buffoon, I think.
Yeah, and I'm with you because we get the new presenter, Jesse Palmer, ex-NFL player, ex-Bachelor as well, Dave. He's been on the show. I had a look at Jesse, proper NFL player, 5 years, San Francisco 49ers, New York Giants. He played...
Married last month.
Well, yeah, he's completely, he sort of skated over that dead quick, didn't he, and everything. But he's the new presenter for The Bachelor. We obviously must have Tasha and Caitlin for The Bachelorette. That's what the format they're going with, because the way he was talking was, I am the new presenter. So he must be here now for the foreseeable future. And when Clayton, you're right, when Clayton's mum and there, and they're doing the old, oh, I'm the Bachelor. Right, okay, Clayton, you're right. I was like, bullshit. But what got me, we get this thing with the town, and you corrected me. I said to you, this just looked bollocks because they were all pretty girls chasing after Clayton, and the firemen looked like they'd had the fucking hand put up the back. Good luck, Clayton. We're rooting for you. And I'm just like, they're like, and then off camera, they're probably like, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah,
Conor McGregor.
Who still watches The Bachelor?
Yeah, who the fuck is this? So I buy into all that, but what got my back up straight away was this Sally character, Dave. This fucking Sally knocks on the door, and I'm going to predict it. Reality Radar's out, first episode. Oh, I wonder whether Sally's going to become one of the Bachelorettes, Dave, in the next couple of series. Because why would you introduce this girl who was just about to get married? She was so traumatic. I did think she was going to backtrack. However, Clayton was not expecting it with the old two-way camera position, Dave. One inside the apartment, one outside. And then he just happens to walk round in normal life with a rose in his pocket before the show's even started. He pulls this from nowhere and goes, I'd like to give you the rose. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. However, I was like, I cannot wait to talk to Dave about this. It was ridiculous.
This was brilliant. But again, it's like, well, how does she know which fucking room he's in? She's not just casually strolling onto Clayton's room. She's talking to the producers. Now, I thought this was a masterstroke, and it still could prove to be, because she got more screen time than any of the other girls tonight. This was the biggest portion of it. So, I thought when he got the rose out, I thought, oh my God, this is ninja level. She is, before anyone's rocked up in a limo, she's got a fucking rose out of him already. I thought, you played a blinder there. And I'm still not convinced that wasn't part of the plan. And if she ends up being the Bachelorette, or she's in Bachelor in Paradise, that might prove to be the case. But this is why I think they're playing him off as this buffoon, because he's literally so-called just met her. And he's saying, I can tell you're sincere. Why? Why would you think that? You've just literally met this girl. And so to give this sob story about, it just happens to be on the day that I was previously going to get married and what have you. And he goes off. I'm guessing he goes to find a producer to get a rose from someone, brings back a rose, and then she still fucking sacks him off. So he's rejected straight out of the gates. Not even a limo has rocked up to the mansion yet, and he's already rejected. This is why I think they're just setting him up to look like a dick. And I love it, Chris. I'm here for it.
Yeah. I'm the same, because I was like, this is bollocks. And you're right, Sally got so much airtime. The way she left, she leaves with a bit of pride. And like I say, I thought she was going to stay. So, oh my God, what a decision. But I'm going to have to stay because he feels that there's something there. But her going sets her up. She's in everyone. A bit like what happened with Clayton. I mean, Clayton even said in his VT, I'm the guy from Michelle's season who got 8 minutes of airtime. Oh, and you got that really weird fucking segment with the young kids at the end when they were in like fucking playgroup or something. They were asking if you'd kiss Michelle and all this. And we were all like, what the hell's going on? So I think Sally, I'm predicting it. I know I've just said it, but I'm predicting it. She has not left this franchise, Dave. She is going to come back at some point. Maybe not. She might come back in this series. We could get a, let's bust down the fucking gates again, like we saw in Matt's series with that girl. But something is just not finished with her. We're going to hear from her. So that was good. You're right. Completely buy into it. But what made me laugh is, Dave, and it's funny, is when the girls turn up, and they're doing that introduction. And it starts off quite vanilla, doesn't it? We're getting the sort of, hi, Clayton, I want to do this. Next minute, Evan, I made a few notes, right? We get fucking, one of the girls brings a cushion. I want this to sit on my face. One of them was a cowgirl. One was a snake charmer. We had Dr. Kira in what, to be fair, Dave, I've mentioned this before. That's how I imagined doctors were for me as a kid. I knew, what I mean? If I was in hospital, I was going to get looked after. It was ridiculous. And it went just further and further down the ridiculousness. And I know it was all set up and they're like, what do you want to do? But I was here for that. I loved it because the more extravagant or the less clothes that came on each contestant, the more the other girls were like, well, my thing was pretty shit then, wasn't it? It was just the pettiness has already started, Dave, and I loved it.
It was good, wasn't it? I think, Chris, just jumping around a bit. So the one I was impressed with the most was the girl who showed up and said, like, I'm from the future. I'm from the future, so should we just sack all this off and go to it now? Chris, I've got a bunch of tea, by the way, supplied by Lauren from Reddit. Not Lauren from Reddit. It was on Reddit, and Lauren's sent us through some bullet points. She turned up in a DeLorean, Chris. Exactly. And they fucking cut it out.
Oh, no. And you told
me. What are they playing at?
That is ridiculous. In a time machine that she invented, and she needed to go back to the year 2021. Sorry, Dave, I had to say that. But anyway, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. So just a weird thing to cut out. I mean, how cool is that? Maybe they think the intersection in our Venn diagram of people who are into Back to the Future, and The Bachelor is me and you. So they're like, no one would be asked about that. But I don't know. I just thought that would have gone. I'd have certainly enjoyed that. But yeah, it was cut out.
Yeah, it's weird because that other girl, I mean, there's one girl turned up in the little mini car, which we'd seen that in the bloke season where one of them had turned up in a mini vehicle and then someone turns up in an actual car. She's in a big pickup truck. So that's strange. But I tell you what was the worst one of the lot, Dave. And Clayton's like, oh, that's great. So funny. The girl who did the electric handshake. I thought that was terrible.
Nothing like a good 70s gag to kick off the evening, is there?
But a dad joke, and it just fell because Clayton went, holy shit, what was that? And he's going, oh, sure, that's really funny. And he could see.
She's got some whoopee cushions in her suitcase for later. That was pretty terrible, wasn't it? Did you say the girl with what was it? She said something about holding my nips or something.
Holding my nips, and he's like, you can see, Dave. It was that. What can you describe it as? You know, when I tell you what, it was
awkward.
Awkward. Yeah, but you remember when Phoebe and Rachel are trying to break Chandler and Monica from revealing that they're going together. So Phoebe puts it on Chandler, doesn't she? And they're trying to snog. And there's a bit where he's like, I'm all bendy. And he's like, pulls the fucking dinghy open, the top down and all that. And then you see Chandler go to grab a boob, don't you? And he goes, and I'm doing the action now with my hand. And he sort of puts it on his shoulder. That was what fucking Clayton sort of looks as if to say, go on then. Then he went, I don't know what to do. It was for the Bachelor, Bachelorette, I thought this was probably one of my favourite episodes because it was just stupid and it didn't take itself seriously for a change. It wasn't, I didn't feel like I'm sat there clock watching going, oh, here we go. I genuinely felt there was stuff that we could talk about that was quite good, like with the bubble bath girl. And the first girl who gets a kiss is Teddy, the girl who in the VT said she was a virgin.
Yeah.
It was because the only thing I didn't like, there was the fucking Sleeping Beauty music, Dave. There was a proper fantasy fucking TV film we were watching when they were kissing. That seemed really fake.
Yeah, I quite like Teddy, but we'll speak about the previews for the season a bit later, maybe. But they essentially spoil it all, and she's not in the last three. So if I was just going off purely this episode, I'd be like, well, she's a good front runner is the word I was looking for. But yeah, it's like, oh, well, it doesn't look like he's going to pick her then. Oh, I tell you what I was going to mention, Chris. Did you notice that he was talking to one of the girls and he said about, I was in your position 2 months ago?
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, 2 months.
Oh, God. Right.
So he was booted off 2 months ago and he's been cast. He's had his little homecoming or home parade thing as well. I find that bizarre, a bizarre turnaround. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he parades himself as like an American footballer, doesn't he? Well, Chris, he was signed up, played 2 games in pre-season. That was it. Yeah. I mean, his body, when it showed him in the American football thing and he had the ball in his hand, Dave, them fucking guns, a Hulk Hogan level of 24-inch pythons. He was and still is a specimen who's playing American football. But I did the same. I researched him, and it's the equivalent of a reserve team player in the Premiership, which is better than we would ever be. And he's obviously an amazing athlete, but he wasn't the American dream that they were trying to portray in the VTs and stuff. I'm with you on that. I think. Yeah.
But I tell you, sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to move on from that. So go on, carry on.
I was going to say, so the whole Sally thing was possibly my favourite moment, but I think actually it might be my second favourite moment. Chris, in episodes gone by, I've written down everyone's name. Not doing that for the first 3 episodes. There's no point. The amount of people who are going to go, so there's 30 girls there. But when he was eating the chicken wings with the one girl, and then someone comes to interrupt them and stuff, and they're talking about eating chicken wings or different types of wings or different bits of a wing or whatever. And then she goes back And she starts saying to the girls, like, yeah, there's nothing really there. I'm not really into. He's too nice for me. But then it escalates, and she ends up like telling everyone who'll listen, or it looked like that from the edit, that she hates him. And this information gets back to Clayton. And I'm like,
I loved it.
To be fair, again, it's like last week with the After the Rose stuff. I don't know what Clayton can do in that position. It's like, so I'm hearing that you hate me.
but her name was Claire, right? The girl. And what got me is it was the biggest heel turn we've seen, Dave, unless you've been watching. Spoiler, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you've ever watched from the start Cobra Kai, there's more heel turns than in the fucking wrestling with that. And it's a brilliant series. But she come from nowhere. It was such a setup. She's an absolute actress. I'm telling you, she's the plant. If Sally doesn't progress in the Bachelor Nation, she's a plant to create drama. This Claire is exactly the same, Dave. It was too cute. All of a sudden, she went, there's just nothing between us. I'm not feeling it, blah, blah, blah. And then the old classic grassing fucker turns up and goes, Clayton, there's something I think you should know. Just like in Michelle's season when everyone turns grass, don't they? And fucking a snitch and he's there. And that girl's going, you need to know this for you. And all the girls are like, is she crazy? We're all here for Clayton. And I'm like, fuck off. None of you do it. If the producers turn around now, like they did with Clayton and said, we're pulling you out of this series. You want to go on The Bachelorette, the new series. They'd go, see you, Clayton. See you later. I didn't see any fucking room shakedowns yet, Dave, like we did on fucking Tasha and Caitlin.
Oh, yeah.
Season. So, but it was too cute. However, I thought it was brilliant because she just called him out. She was like, oh, he's boring. Yeah, whatever. I loved it.
I do think it crossed my mind, is she just a plant as well? Yeah. Because it was just bizarre because let's face it, you've been cast in this show. You've watched it for seasons and seasons. You know what it is. You're in a nice dress. You're having some canapes and appetizers and whatever. All these free drinks and everything. And then the one eligible bachelor on the show, the whole, the thing that everything centers around, you're just slagging him off to everyone. And we talk about being a grass, but the problem is she was telling everyone. So you tell 10 people this thing that you hate The Bachelor, you hate the main guy on this series. At least one person is going to go back and relay that information. It's a fucking competition at the end of the day. I just thought it was so bizarre because even if you did hate him, then keep your gob shut. Say, yeah, there's nothing really between us. More free drinks. Get them on the way. I just thought it was bizarre. The only way I can rationalize it is that she was some kind of actress, some sort of plant and it's basically your job is to go in, be a bit of a villain, but to be honest, once it gets back to Clayton that you fucking hate him, he's going to jettison you out of there, which is what happened.
Yeah, and very quickly, I know I've said this story, so apologies everyone, but having been on the outskirts of TV and knowing people I've worked with who've just done TV adverts and like TV shows and everything, is the fact that people are paid to go on reality TV shows and actually pretend and tell a story, Dave. And that's where I think these two have come in. They've come in through a talent agency, like you said, Sally and Claire. Maybe Sally isn't if she's being moved on to the Bachelor Nation, but Claire, 100%. And look, it worked. It absolutely worked because they were all outraged. They were like, oh, that's a disgrace. And I'm just sat there loving it, absolutely loving it.
Yeah. No, it was great. And I just kept putting myself in that position, Chris, because, can you imagine? Obviously, you're not going to be on a date with 30 girls, but just imagine just being in one date, on like a double date situation or something, and somehow the information gets back to you. It's like, look, this girl that you've gone on a blind date with, I just heard her in the toilet. It's like saying she hates you.
It probably happened to us, Dave, but yeah.
I just think that's brilliant. I mean, again, I think he handled it okay. I mean, it must be hurtful to hear that. And because then she's like, no, I didn't say I hated you. It's like, you're on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
Come on, you know this stuff's getting back to him.
And she had a drink as well, because you could see she looked pissed as well. So maybe it wasn't herself. She was just pissed. But one thing I want to say there, because we got the final rose, Teddy gets the first rose, and then it's a crescendo of different girls. I don't know any of them. Some of the girls have got the rose. Like you say, there was ones who stood out, like Dr. Kira and all that. She got a kiss off him and stuff. I can't think. The one thing I want to say finally is what you said at the top of the show. Why the hell did they do a preview on these American shows and ruin the whole series, basically? Because we pretty much, other than a little bit of foreshadowing, we know who's going to be at the end and that he gets intimate with two girls. It's just, for me, I just think, why are you doing that? You can bring attention, but show us the next episode. Show us a little VT of what's happened in the next week's episode. Invest in all the characters. Don't just go straight to the end and go, it's the most explosive season ever. Well, I might as well fucking pack up tools now and see you on episode 10 or 11.
And that's what I find bizarre. What I love, in these types of shows is going along that journey, chatting with you and dissecting it all, and even though we know most of it is fake, being along on the roller coaster, being along for the ride. But it's like, well, okay, we know by the end of it, he's in love with 3 women apparently, and slept with at least 2 of them. So, and we saw, I didn't. Again, I don't know the names. I just recognize the faces. It's like, all right, well, these are clearly at the end then. And like I say, Teddy wasn't one of those 3. So what's the fucking point, Bachelor? Well, I don't get it. I mean, there must be a reason why they do this. And whether it's that, they I don't know, is it an audience thing? Do the audience want to know the outcome? And then just find out how the ride gets them to the outcome? It's weird. It's a different way of thinking of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's not how you would do it in the UK. And I'm not saying we've got the format right, but if I'm invested in a 10, 13 week series, I want to go along for the ride, whether we believe it's fake or not. I don't want to be told, because it sort of, I just think it cheapens everyone else's journey. So everything else we see between now and the end pretty much is going to be, well, you're going anyway. Does it matter? It don't matter how you leave, whether it's you left amicably or you go, fuck you, Clayton, I'm going. Yeah. It's basically, we know the result. I just found that really bizarre. But anyway, Dave, we are here for the ride, my friend. Here for the ride.
We are. Like Clayton, we are here for the ride.
Anyway, massive thank you. Yeah, yes. Well, more than one ride by the sounds of it, Dave. But anyway, massive thank you to everyone. Please follow us on social media at CD Realitycast. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And if you want to support us, we always say it. Thank you, everybody, past and present. Get over to patreon.com/CD Realitycast. So today's roll call of honor, guys, is Michelle, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Noreen, Amy, Zoe, Joanna, Helen, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Priscilla, Susan, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Ken Gustafson. And as our great friend Lauren, who does sometimes give me a bit of abuse, Dave, but I expect it because I don't hold back. We have a great relationship. We are frenemies or whatever. We're frenemies. If you've got a bit of tea on the Bachelor Nation and on this show, get onto Facebook and tell us or message us. We love to research this and chat about it.
So apparently, Chris, I'm just going to rattle through these bullet points here. But so from Lauren via Reddit, we've had that TikTok went viral yesterday. So apparently loads of college girls, Chris, are all spilling the tea on how they've had sex with Clayton. And one girl apparently said that he said, "I'm going to climb you like a tree," which is... I'm still trying to work that one out. So apparently he's done the rounds in his local town there, and I'm sure when he finishes this, will do as well. Said about the fact he didn't play any games. Samantha apparently rolled up in a hot tub. Also self-eliminated on night 1, but they cut that out of the show. So that's 3 girls, Chris, that eliminated before the actual rose ceremony.
Oh my God.
Now this is a good one. Sally cancelled the wedding apparently because she found out the groom or the fiance, I guess, was still married to someone else. But according to their Instagram, they're back together now.
Oh,
so there you go.
off.
Definite fucking Bachelorette material there.
Oh my God.
The producers asked that Jesse Palmer get married to be the host. So that was part of the deal, if you like. So you can be the host, but you have to be married to do that. Now, this one I did enjoy. On Katie's season, apparently with Tayshia being the host, caused a bit of an issue because most of the blokes were more into Tayshia than they were into Katie. So that's probably why.
I said the same thing. I said it.
That's why. Yeah. Oh, there we go. One for the reality radar.
Yeah. I said that, didn't I? I said it on Michelle's one as well. When the guys are looking at Tayshia Caitlin going, you know what? I might have a go at trying to get out with these two. Because you look. Blokes are blokes, no matter how it's sincere to pretend they are on the camera, Dave. They are not playing it. Brilliant.
Now, Kate, who came in, she's the 2 nips of alcohol girl. Apparently, she works for the Oppenheim Group from Selling Sunset.
Sunset, Dave, because I watch that all the time.
Well, you didn't fucking recognise her, did you?
No, because no, she isn't from the main show. They actually have other realtors who work in the background who are not on the show. Because the ones on the show, a lot of them are speculating they're actually actresses, because most of them are, and then they've got licenses just for the show. But he has actually got the 2 twin brothers have got proper realtors in the background, so they're probably all just trying to become a bit famous now.
Yeah. Down to the last couple. So they are apparently looking for senior bachelors that they're trying to cast. So looking for singles over 65. So not quite there yet, Chris, but it could be close soon. And the last one, lowest bachelor ratings yet. So, I tell you, they're trying to squeeze the pips out of this thing, which is why you've got these such compressed seasons. I think they're just trying to give us as much as possible because they know when they take the foot off the gas, someone's going to kill it.
Yeah. And you didn't let me get in there, but I was going to say, Dave, you had a chance with senior bachelors. But anyway.
Yeah, I fucking scooted on past that one. I knew what was coming.
20 years too early, but anyway, I thought it was going to say mid-40s or something. There's a chance for you. But anyway, Dave, no, thank you, mate, and thanks everyone. It's a great start, to be fair. For once, we're not absolutely shitting on the show. It's just we
kind of are, but we're enjoying it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I took it for what it was for a change. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Cheers, Chris, and thanks to everyone for listening out there. I'll speak to you next time.
Bye now.